What's up, people? I am back for another video. Sorry if I sound like a little. I have a little bit of sniffles, but it's fine. Today, I am reviewing Violent Night, which just came out today. I saw the trailer for this, it was like a month or two ago, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And it looks like just a fun action film, and that's what it was. This will be a spoiler review, but there's no real spoilers besides, like, yeah, Santa beats the bad guys. So overall, this was a fun movie. To be fair, my standard for bad this year is pretty high. And I think this movie did what it was supposed to do. It was a fun little action flick. Yeah, there was some cringy dialogue, but it was fun. You got some fun kills. It was it goes pretty quick. Like, granted, I was in the theater, so I couldn't tell, but it felt like at least 20 to 30 minutes in, we were already in the action, and the bad guys already attacked the house. So it's like I didn't feel like it went too slow. Like, it went pretty quick. So overall, it was a pretty fun film. I don't know if I would recommend seeing it in the theater, but for me, I don't know if I'd go see it again in the theater. I might just wait, but it was a fun little action flick. So, I'm sitting at like an 8 out of 8. I think I said 8.5. It was a fun little action flick. I think towards the end, like, there's literally a scene where Santa kills John Leguizamo's character, Mr. Scrooge. He literally takes him through a fucking chimney, and he gets, like, fucking eviscerated. It's fucking great. Like, I think the action goes pretty hard towards the end. Whatever I think of John Leguizamo now, he's a fucking whiny bitch. But I will say this: I liked his character in this movie. I thought he was fun. I thought he had some funny lines. So it was a fun little flick. That's really all I can say. It knows what it was supposed to be. I knew going in what it was supposed to be, so I would see it if you know going in. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great movie, but it's a decent movie. So, not tomorrow, Sunday, I will be doing my top 10 albums of the 90s, not the 90s, the 2000s. I'll spoil my number one already, just because, I mean, it makes sense. Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park, like, to me, when I think 2000s albums, it's that one. So, but I'll be doing that. I'll go more overall into the list on that on Sunday. But yeah, overall, this movie was pretty decent. 8.5 out of 10. It's a fun little flick, so I'll go more into that now. But besides that, I'll cheers and peace out. So, but Violent Night. So the movie opens up. I actually really like the opening where he's at a bar drinking a beer. Speaking of which, drinking a beer, talking about how kids are ungrateful. So I knew going in, like, when he mentioned that, oh, so it's gonna be like him kind of like getting his Christmas spirit back kind of deal. Talking to the bar owner and mall Santa, and he ends up going upstairs to the roof. The lady follows him because he thinks, initially which throughout the film that's gonna happen. They think he's not a real Santa, but it turns out he is the real Santa. I thought it was kind of funny. He's on the roof. You see him the lady sees him on the fucking roof, seeing him fly with his reindeer, and then he fucking pukes, and the puke hits her. I thought that was kind of funny. Like, it's definitely funny in the sense of this is probably early aughts humor. Like, it's definitely not humor that, like, I can see some people being like, yeah, this is fucking over the top. So I'm not gonna blame you if you think the humor is a little cringe. For me, it worked, but so after that, we are introduced to Jason Lightstone, and his wife. I'll admit, I don't remember her name at this moment, and their daughter Trudy, and they're going to this big family gathering, and we meet their family, Gertrude, their daughter, like his sister, and her husband Morgan Steele, who's like this actor. I'll admit, the family are basically assholes, but I kind of had fun with them. And, initially everything seems fine, but then it's revealed that some of the workers are actually mercenaries who work for Mr. Scrooge, which is John Leguizamo's character, who shows up and basically they want $300 million in the vault of Gertrude, who I'll admit, I had fun with Gertrude's character throughout the film. I thought she was basically asshole grandma, but I thought it worked. And he had his whole crew, and while there's Santa, who you see earlier, like throughout, like initially you see him like delivering gifts and stuff, and he ends up delivering gifts at this house, but while there, because he sits on like one of those massage chairs, right? And because of that, he doesn't notice that. Yeah, he starts hearing gunshots, and that's when they take over the house, and he has to try to get out. He ends up killing one of them, the bad guys, accidentally by pushing him out the window, and he gets impaled on a sharp like ice thing. And then he kills another one by electric. Oh, which I'll admit, the kills are pretty brutal in this. He like stabs the other one in the eye with like a star ornament, and then he like turns it on and it like basically burns him. And yeah, his face like catches on fire. It's pretty brutal. And like John Leguizamo, like I said, he's a bitch in real life, but he has some pretty good lines in this movie. Like I had fun with his villain character. Like you learn he doesn't like Christmas because of his past, because basically he was poor coming up, and he ended up getting accused of a murder that he didn't commit. So he hates Christmas type of deal. But he was a fun bad guy, and I liked some of the other bad guys. They were simple. Like, I think why I'm giving this movie a bit of a pass, it feels like an 80s movie. Like a good one. Like, it's a fun, like, I can see this movie coming out in, like, the 80s or the 90s about a Santa taking out bad guys. I can see this coming out back then. So, like I said, I didn't expect greatness, and Jason gives Trudy a gift, which is basically a gift he found there, which is this walkie-talkie, which he says, oh, this is like a voice to Santa. And Santa actually, after killing the other guy, the other worker for Goon, I'll use Goon for Mr. Scrooge, he ends up getting the same channel, and they start having a conversation. I'll admit, Trudy's not a bad kid actor. For like most kid actors, which are pretty shit, especially modern day kid actors, I thought she did a decent job. And I'll admit, I liked their kind of, relationship and chemistry between him and Trudy. Like, he even ends up telling her about his past as a Viking warrior. So it was kind of cool getting not an origin story, but a little bit of like his backstory, what he was before, and how basically he was on the ultimate naughty list. So it's almost like he became Santa as like repentance, So I'll admit, those moments in the movie are definitely probably my favorite part, minus like the violence. So one of the goons demands the hostages to basically give up, like get, open presents. And one of the presents is revealed that Jason, and I'll admit, this is a trope I'm kind of tired of now, is the broken family trope. Like, they always have to have like the mom and dad be broken up or estranged. It's like, it would be nice to just see a intact family for once. It'd be one thing if it wasn't fucking constant with that, but it is. So it would be nice just for once, like maybe have a family that's intact. Not saying it ruins the movie or anything, but it's noticeable. It's like, come on. Because it's almost like this isn't the only movie I've seen that in. And I understand you want to do the build of, oh, they get back together, but it would be nice if you just had them be together from the jump. I feel like it wouldn't, you know why? I don't feel like the movie would play out any different if you had them be together. Because I understand the point of her Trudy's wish mainly is that she wants her mom and dad to get back together. But I feel like the movie could easily play out the same way if they were just together from the jump. That's my main point. And it's just, if it wasn't so noticeable, I probably wouldn't point this out. But it's just in everything now. We gotta always have like a broken up family, and it's just like, goddamn. Can we just have one intact family for once? So, side rant, but. So, after Santa, I thought it was kind of funny, like, you know, because he got shot, so Santa, like, takes off his shirt, and he has, like, fucking, like, almost like prison tats, which is pretty funny. So he heals his wounds, and decides, yeah, I'm gonna fuck these guys up. So, during the film, Gertrude references that she has this extraction team that are gonna come save the day, and they actually end up coming. I guess it's, like, the only twist, really, is that no, they're actually working for Mr. Scrooge. So, but before that, Mr. Scrooge manages to, you know, get Santa, like, tied up and stuff, and they initially don't believe he's Santa. They think he's just some fucking guy that works for Gertrude. And he manages to escape because Trudy, who's hiding in the attic, because I guess I didn't mention that part, because Jason tries to, like, tell, because there's a scene where she says, yeah, I'm talking to Santa, and Jason tries to come in for the save and say, no, she's playing make-believe, and that Santa isn't real. So she runs off and hides in the attic, and because she's in the attic, she ends up, and she references Home Alone a lot, which is kind of, I'll admit, I like the Home Alone references. I don't feel like they overly they reference Home Alone, but I don't think they like did it. They didn't like, it wasn't like they didn't beat it over your head, you know. So she causes like a diversion with like fake snow, which is just like, I think it's like cotton from like fucking, you know, that are usually like in boxes and shit. So Santa manages to get through the chimney, and oh, I should have mentioned this, but the deer go away because during the first fight, he causes the guy to shoot up the roof, which causes them to run away. So I should have mentioned that. So after killing, so after escaping, he ends up contacting Trudy again, and basically this is where he goes into like his backstory and stuff, and then she basically kind of causes him to like get better with himself. So he talks about like wanting to get back with Mrs. Claus, and the ring leads him to a hammer, which is referenced earlier, was called Skull Crusher, and this is where the extraction team are revealed as bad guys, and they try to find Santa. And this is where, for me, the film was fine as it is, but it picks up from here. He fucking goes ham with that hammer. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I was in theater, but I was like, internally, I was like, holy fucking shit. The violence goes hard. He's like fucking these dudes up with a hammer. So after that, this is where it's revealed that Jason, to get back with his wife, tried to steal his money from his mom, and he ends up leading the bad guys to the money. They still end up deciding to kill him. So this is where Santa comes in for the save, and you get a big shootout. We get to like the final chase. Like, I'll say this, the movie goes pretty quick. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't feel like there's a slow point. Like, it goes. So he ends up confronting Jimmy, or Mr. Scrooge. And this is, at this point, Mr. Scrooge realizes this is the real Santa. So he tries to kill him, but he ends up managing to kill him pretty brutally. Like, he fucking tries to tell him to believe in, you know, does the chimney trick and basically fucking obliterates Mr. Scrooge. But, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember his name, but the main leader of the extraction team shoots Santa, and Gertrude, after, you know, because she manages to find a gun, shoots the guy before he can kill him. Santa seemingly dies, but then we get like everyone believes moment, and he's fine, gives everybody gifts, and then he flies off. Pretty fun little action movie. Like the scene where Gertrude does like the Home Alone tricks, I should have gone into that. But like one of the guys gets fucking impaled in the mouth with a fucking nail. The girl gets ripped. Candy Cane, I think is her name, gets fucking killed with a hammer by Santa. Like, the violence is pretty. They go pretty hard on the violence. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a great movie, but it's a fun little action flick. It knows what it is. I thought David Harbour did a pretty good job, and his chemistry with Trudy was pretty good. Like, I think that's like easily my favorite part of the movie. The parents were meh. I thought the family was kind of funny. Like, you got this kid who's the kid of the aunt, who's like this basically easier prototypical like vlogger kind of guy. Thought he was kind of funny. I thought John Leguizamo did a good job. Whatever I think of him now, as a person, I thought he did a pretty good job in this. I thought he had some funny lines. So overall, it's a pretty fun film. That's really all I can say. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10 for as an action film. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's like great, but it's a fun little action flick. It's a fun Christmas movie. It knows what it is, so I'm happy I already saw it. So Sunday, like I mentioned, I will be doing top 10 2000s albums. I can't wait to do that. Like I said, Hybrid Theory is definitely going to probably be number one. Because to me, when I think albums from that decade, it's definitely that album specifically. Definitely Chop Suey will be in there, for sure. Or not Chop Suey, but System of a Down. So, but, I'll talk about that then. Violent Night's pretty good. If you want like a fun little Christmas movie, I might recommend it. So, it's fun. So, I'll see you then. But besides that, I'll see you guys on Sunday. I'm gonna cheers and peace out. But as usual, fuck Joe Biden, fuck Kamala Harris. I'll talk to y'all Sunday. Peace.